We are at video number 0035. The wise do not suffer. The Bhagavad Gītā teaches that those who are truly wise do not suffer because they understand the nature of life, change, and the eternal self. Suffering arises not from the events of the world, but from our ignorance, attachment, and mistaken identity. When wisdom dawns, suffering ends. Everywhere I look, I see suffering. People lose loved ones, face failures, grow old, fall ill, and eventually die. My heart is troubled. If life is filled with such pain, is there any way to live free from suffering? The Bhagavad Gita declares the wise do not suffer. This does not mean that a wise person's body never experiences pain, nor that they escape life's challenges. Instead, it means that wisdom transforms one's relationship with pain, loss, and change, so that what brings misery to the ignorant no longer binds the enlightened. Now we will be understanding the source of suffering. Suffering comes not from life itself, but from our mind's reaction to life. We cling to pleasure, fearing its loss. We resist pain, wishing it away. We attach ourselves to temporary things, forgetting they are bound to change. The Gita reminds us that everything in this world is impermanent. Pleasure and pain, success and failure, birth and death, all are like passing seasons. When we forget this truth, we suffer. The wise person, sees beyond the fleeting waves of life. The wise person sees beyond the fleeting waves of life. Just as the ocean remains vast and unmoved, though waves rise and fall, the wise remain steady and amidst life's ups and downs. The wise remain steady amidst life's ups and downs. They recognize that the self, Atman, is eternal, untouched by birth, death, or decay. What perishes is only the body, the outer form, not the true self. When this understanding becomes one's direct experience, fear and sorrow dissolve. The ignorant say, this is mine, I cannot lose it. But the wise know, nothing truly belongs to me. All belongs to the universe, and I am only its caretaker for a time. To hold without clinging, to give without regret, to lose without despair. This is wisdom. Imagine a guest at a feast. He enjoys the meal but does not weep when the plates are cleared. So too, the wise enjoy life's offerings but do not grieve when they pass. The Gita teaches samatvam, means balance of mind. Just as one does not rejoice wildly when the sun rises, nor despair when it sets, because both are natural. The wise see joy and sorrow as natural rhythms of life. To greet both with calm acceptance is true strength. When ignorance is replaced by knowledge, fear of loss vanishes because the self cannot be lost. Fear of death disappears because eyes. Craving for worldly gain weakens because the self is already whole. WHOLE. Thus, the wise do not suffer. Not because the world changes, but because their understanding has changed. Do not think this wisdom is beyond you. It grows step by step. Number one, reflect daily. Remember that everything you see is temporary. Number two, practice detachment. Enjoy what comes without clinging. Let go without resistance. Number three, meditate on the self. Turn inward and discover the unchanging witness within you. Number four, serve selflessly. By acting without selfish motives, the ego weakens and wisdom shines. Therefore, remember this truth. Pain may visit the body, but suffering is optional. The ignorant are slaves to the mind. The wise are masters of it. You too can rise above sorrow by seeking wisdom, practicing balance, and realizing your eternal self. Do not live as a prisoner of your fears and attachments. The storms of life will come, but they cannot shake the one who is anchored in wisdom. Be that wise one. Stand firm like the mountain, flow free like the river, shine steady like the sun. Then you too shall know the freedom of the Bhagavad Gita's promise. The wise do not suffer. So, what are the key teachings here? Number one, the source of suffering. Suffering does not come from life itself. Suffering does not come from life itself, but from the mind's reaction to life. We cling to pleasure, we fear loss, we resist pain, and we forget that all things change. Number two, the eternal self. The wise see that behind all change, there is something unchanging. The self, your true nature. The body is born, grows, and dies, but the self is untouched, eternal, and free. Number three, freedom from attachment. Nothing in this world truly belongs to you. You are only a guest here. Enjoy what comes, accept what goes, hold lightly, give freely, and you will not be broken by loss. Number four, equanimity in life's ups and downs, pleasure and pain, gain and loss, success and failure. These are like day and night, like seasons. The wise greet both with calm acceptance, knowing neither defines them. Number five, the end of suffering. When you know the self, fear disappears. When you see life's impermanence, sorrow weakens. When you realize your wholeness, craving ends. Thus, wisdom, not the changing world, removes suffering. Number six, the path to wisdom. Reflect daily. All this will pass. Practice detachment and joy without clinging. Meditate. Find the witness within you. Serve selflessly. Act without selfishness, and peace will grow. Remember this truth: pain is part of life, but suffering is optional. The ignorant are ruled by their mind, the wise master it. Anchor yourself in wisdom, and the storms of life cannot shake you. Be like the mountain, steady. Be like the river, flowing. Be like the sun, shining of always. Then you too will live in the freedom of the Gita's promise. And what is this promise? The wise do not suffer. Now we will see this from the standpoint of conversation between student and guru. Though you speak as if you are wise, you are lamenting over that which deserves no grief. The sages who understand the truth neither mourn for the living nor for the dead. In other words, if one truly knows who they are, one does not suffer because of changes in life, loss, death, or separation. The truly wise person remains steady. Student is asking a question. You say the wise do not suffer, but how can anyone claim to not suffer when life is full of pain, loss, death, grief? The Guru replies, let us begin with what this teaching is pointing at. In the Gita, the speaker Sri Krishna tells his disciple Arjun that his grief is misplaced. He is lamenting what is impermanent when the real self is eternal. The wise Panditaha here means someone who has insight into the nature of reality. The self, Atman, is not born, does not die, is beyond the body. When one knows that, one's suffering changes its character. The student is asking a question. So you mean the wise don't feel pain when a loved one passes away? That seems impossible. The Guru replies. They may feel the event. There is human emotion, but their understanding is at a deeper level that the loved one's body changed, but the underlying consciousness is eternal. Thus, while others suffer in panic or sorrow because they believe everything ends, the wise rest in a wider perspective. The Gita makes clear never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor those princes of men, nor will there be a time when we shall cease to be. Life involves bodies, births, deaths. These are the realm of the perishable. A wise one knows the body may die, change, pass away, but the self within is not subject to that. The Guru continues. If you know, if you knew someone's body is only a vehicle and the inner self continues, how would you respond to their passing? A student replies, I might still feel sadness, but maybe not the kind of panic that everything is lost or it was all pointless. The Guru replies, that is correct. The wise person's grief is transformed by insight. Rather than seeing, I have lost someone dear, they realize the form has gone, but that which really matters remains free and unchanged. The Bhagavad Gītā verse 2.11 says, the wise neither grieve for the living nor for the dead. For the living, because even while alive, forms will change, people will age, decline. Attachment to the body as self leads to sorrow when things go out of one's control. For the dead, Because if you identify with the eternal consciousness rather than the body, death is just a transition, not an end. Thus, wisdom silences the root of sorrow, ignorance about one's real nature. It does not mean never feel anything, be a robot, suppress emotions. The Gita does not promote being insensitive. The Gita does not promote being insensitive. Rather, it encourages understanding, awareness, and non attachment. Some people misinterpret. If wise, I must show zero feelings, never cry, never be sad. That misses the point. The point is the underlying identity remains untouched. The wise are free in the midst of life's waves. The Guru continues. Let us turn it into a practical application. If you face a setback, job loss, relationship ending, health issue, how would this teaching help you respond? A student replies, I would remember this is part of change. I am more than this circumstance. My deeper self remains. So I will act, accept what I cannot change, and not be destroyed by this. The Guru replies, yes. You shift from victim of circumstance to actor with awareness. You accept what is, work with what you can without being consumed by grief. Another angle, because you know your deeper self is eternal, you don't cling desperately to forms and outcomes. Because you know your deeper self is eternal, you don't cling desperately to forms and outcomes. You value, you commit, you love, but you are not imprisoned by the fear of losing. That freedom is huge. Here are some steps you can apply. Like number one, reflect. Spend time contemplating your deeper identity. Not I am the body, but I am the inner awareness. Number two, observe impermanence. Watch how bodies age, relationships change, things shift. Let impermanence teach you detachment. Number three, respond, don't react. When loss hits, pause, feel the emotion, then bring awareness. This is sorrow because I loved the form, but the inner one remains. Number four, act your duty. The Gita teaches that wise persons still act, They don't withdraw from life. They act without being attached to the results. The same teaching of non grief supports this. Number five, cultivate equanimity, balance in pleasure and pain, success and failure. The wise keep the mind steady. Number six, use suffering as teacher. When grief arises, ask, what is this teaching me? What attachment lies at its root? How can I respond more wisely next time? Now let us come to some common questions and answers. Question: but if I become detached, will I stop loving people? The answer is no. Love and devotion grow stronger when they are rooted in awareness rather than fear of loss. True love supports freedom, not bondage. Next question: does this mean I should not care about outcomes or others? The answer is not at all. You care deeply, but you do so with understanding. You care, act, serve, but you accept whatever unfolds because you know your core remains untouched. That is the teaching of non grief. Next question: what if grief still comes? Am I not wise then? The answer is grief might come. The wise are human. The difference is the wise don't get lost in grief. They don't let grief define them. They allow it to pass, learn from it, and remain anchored in their deeper nature. Next question: how is this different from escapism? Escapism. The answer is escapism tries to deny reality. Wisdom sees reality clearly. The wise person sees change, loss, death, but also sees the eternal. They are not living in denial, they are living in fuller truth. Let this teaching inspire you. You are larger than any one event, larger than anybody, larger than any relationships change. Loss, failure, death, they are part of the flow of forms. They don't touch your core. When you realize that, you become resilient, at peace, a source of strength, not only for yourself, but for others. You can face anything because you know I am here. My deeper self is steady. This too shall pass. And because you know your deeper self, you begin to live with purpose. You don't waste time in fear or regret. You engage. In summary, the phrase, the wise do not suffer, is not an empty slogan. It points to a radical shift in how you see who you are and what life is. The wise know the self is eternal, the body changing. They understand things come, things go. Attachment to them causes suffering. They live fully with love, duty, acceptance, but without being bound by results or loss. They live fully with love, duty, acceptance, but without being bound by results or loss. They transform suffering. They transform suffering from something that crushes them into something that refines them. Hari Om.